Pre-existing homes are getting eaten alive in Florida right now. New construction is on the rise. Buyers beware and know your contract options. In the state of Florida, in order to get your general contractor's license, you gotta be 18, you gotta have a decent credit score, you gotta have some experience and education, take and pass a test, and pay your fees. Obviously, it's a little bit more specific than that, but you get my point. There are a lot of contractors running around out there right now in Florida, so be careful. Richard Swank is a Florida Realtors Association attorney, and he has written a very compelling article on why we as in agents, should not use Florida's as-is contract for new construction. We actually shouldn't be using any of the Florida state contracts that are there to represent existing real estate. He says to use a builder or developer contract for new construction. And if they don't have one, here's what he says. To be blunt, failure to retain a construction law attorney to draft a suitable contract may save money in the short run, but it almost inevitably leads to a great expense in the long run when the dispute is litigated. Builders vary in how they construct homes and their individual timelines for completion, and a contract specific to that builder is the best route for the parties involved. That's what he has to say about it. Here are Richard Swank's three main reasons not to use Florida's as-is contract on new construction or any of the Florida state contracts for existing real estate. Number one is paragraph 12A of the as-is contract. It is the inspection period for an existing property or house. Typically in Florida, the inspection period is 15 days long, and it starts, the countdown for the 15 days starts at the effective date, which I'm going to give you the definition of the effective date, which is also in the contract. In Florida, the effective date of a real estate contract is the date the buyer and seller agree to the terms of the contract and have it executed. Okay, so you have an effective date, you have an inspection period of 15 days. If you have an existing home, there's something to inspect. If you have new construction, there's nothing to inspect. When you're dealing with new construction, your most important time frame for an inspection is at the end. Once the CO is cleared, you do a final walkthrough, you do a punch list with your builder, and whatever is not ready, working, or improper, you give that list to the builder and they fix it. So remember, these contracts are legally binding. So if you're using a contract with an inspection period in it that starts at the effective date, there could be some serious problems for the buyer. Number two is paragraph 12B11. This is the part in the contract that talks about the final walkthrough. It says that the seller is to maintain the property as it was at effective date. So then buyer goes and does the final walkthrough, they make sure that the property's been maintained, and so forth. If the seller is a builder or contractor and it's new construction, what is the seller supposed to maintain at effective date? An empty lot? A foundation? Some trees? Do you see how it can be very confusing when you're using a pre-existing home contract for new construction? The effective date is incredibly important here. So again, keep these things in mind when you're working with new construction. Number three, in the as-is contract, and this is really important to know for new construction and for pre-existing homes, buyer is waiving any claims against the seller when it comes to possible property damage or defects for that house at the time of closing. That means you can't come back and say, this was damaged or that was broken, you didn't tell me about it. You're buying the house as is, it's as is, where is. So this is very important. Obviously, somewhere in Florida, there was a contractor or builder building homes and using the standard Florida state contracts that we as realtors use every day for pre-existing homes. There were some problems, probably a lot of problems, and it probably happened multiple times. And it prompted this article. And there are some really, really great points in this article. Because I am a realtor selling Destin, Florida real estate, and I want my buyers to be safe, I went out into my sphere of influence and talked to my favorite real estate attorneys, lenders, and even more real estate agents, just to see what their thoughts are regarding new construction and how they handle it. And here is what I found. Anybody who is anybody building homes should have their own builder's contract and addendum, or an addendum packet to add to the standard Florida state contracts. And to add on to that, the agent representing that builder or contract should be the one writing the contracts for the buyers and the buyer's agent. This one's really important. Do not settle for a 1-year builder's warranty. Push for a 2 to 10 year builder's warranty. This is important, and you learn this in real estate school. Do not act like an attorney and try to rewrite the Florida state contracts that are suitable for pre-existing homes to match or try to cover the new construction. Referring back to the article again, if the builder does not have their own contract and addendum drafted, hire a construction attorney, a competent construction attorney, to draft the necessary contract and forms needed to close the sale of new construction. I know this topic is not very interesting, but it is very necessary. Watch my older video, New Construction Final Inspection. It is helpful too. We will see you next Thursday. Bye.